What's going on? Today we're going to take a look at the Surviveware small first aid kit. This is their small one. This is small. For them, this is small. They do make a bigger one. Looks like it's about yay big. Surviveware reached out to me about a week and a half ago, asked if I'd be willing to do a review on their first aid kit. Thought that I might like it, thought that you might like it. So I agreed and told them this, said go ahead, send me one of your first aid kits. I'll take a look at it. And this is not what I was expecting at all. I was expecting one of those small, like credit card sized first aid kits that you see that are just like a couple little things that they call a first aid kit. Now this is a legitimate first aid kit. I've had a chance to take a look at this, look at who Surviveware is, and I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. They're not paying me for this review. They did send me this, but right now I gotta say I'm pretty impressed. So let's take a look at what we got here. This kit is it's probably like 4x6 or 4x5.5 or so, right? Pretty deep. There's a ton of stuff in here. We'll start with the outside patch here. Well, actually, let's take a look at the case itself. So you've got a carry handle. You've got this little loop here for a carabiner that you can hook onto your backpack. On the back, there's this kind of dual-purpose loop system. All right, so on their website, they show this attached to the back of a bicycle, like underneath the seat. Perfect. This is like a Velcro strap, so you could put this on on your backpack straps, or you can attach this to a bike post like they've got it, or anything like that. And then there is an actual belt loop here. You see that? There's two, and this is pretty. This isn't going to rip off. It's actually pretty well done. This is coming from someone who sews a lot. This is a pretty well made case. So size-wise for this, I don't know that this whole thing would go on a backpacking trip with me, just because it's a little bit big. If you're trying to save space. If you had an extra spot in your backpack that you could put this in, you're going to have a lot of stuff in here, and I'll show you what all's in here. But this is definitely, at the very least, going to replace the little kit I have in my Jeep. This is staying in the Jeep. On the front, we got this little zipper pouch here, and inside, I mean, you can put any number of things in there, small things, right? But in here, they give you some little Ziploc bags for prescription pills, personal medicines, they label it. But there's looks like maybe 1, 2, 3 or 4 little Ziploc bags in there. So if you're hiking, you're going to be out, you have medicines that you have to have, you can put those in here and you can keep them separated. Kind of nice. Nice addition to a first aid kit there for your own personal stuff. Next up, you got this dual zipper. It opens up like so. Initially, I didn't see anything that showed what was in here, but there is a card that shows you a list of everything that is in the kit here. Also on the other side, there's a $5 code. I don't know if this comes in all of them. Looks like it probably does. This isn't like a one-time thing. On your next purchase, probably shouldn't drop that, but it shows you everything that's in there. And I'll put a better picture of this overlaid. So let's take a look at what we got. In here, pretty much everything is labeled. Right, the first thing that's going to probably stand out to most people is there's a CPR kit. Resuscitation mask, they call it, and it's a CPR kit. I don't think I've seen a backpacking first aid kit that had a CPR kit. So in here, there's actually a little pull-out flap that gives you basic instructions for CPR, what you should do. Of course, if there's somebody who's trained in CPR, you would want to have them do this. But in an emergency, if it could save somebody's life, these are good instructions to have. So you got one side's for adult and one side's for child. CPR is not something I ever learned. But it would be a good thing to know, all right? But so that's really nice to have that. there's a you got like the resuscitation mask itself. I'm guessing this is like a squeeze, so you blow into the bag and then squeeze that in. And then you've got some antiseptic towels and some gloves in there too. So everything you need for CPR. Again, nothing is going to be better than a professional or someone who's trained in it, but knowing that you've got that in your kit is actually pretty nice. Of course, I'm trying to get back in there. There you go. So that's a CPR kit. You can also carry this with you by itself. It's got a little keychain loop on there, or a key ring. All right, so I'm gonna put that back in. All right, so that's a CPR kit. You've got just some safety pins here. Could always come in handy. You've got adhesive dressings for minor wounds, so small band-aids and things like that. Yeah. Some of your standard size band-aids, smaller ones. Always good to have. And all this stuff is separately wrapped and, like I said, marked, which is very nice that it's marked. You've got some hypoallergenic tape up here. Looks like that's a pretty good sized container. Oh, that's actually, I'm throwing stuff all over. It's actually in a little container too, so that's going to stay clean even if it's not in the bag. And these are all Ziploc bags, so they're resealable. Does it say how much is in here? .25mm, but I think that's the width. So you got a roll of tape. You've also got some shears. These are nice, for cutting gauze. These are pretty nice. They are serrated. See if you can see that. Doesn't really come through on the video, but a nice little set of shears. There is also, behind that, you got a set of tweezers right there. You've got, what do they call these? Splinter probes, which I've never used, I've never even seen in a kit. But I guess these are for if you've got a splinter. There you go, splinter probes. I guess these just help you find where the splinter is, if it's a bad enough one. Maybe help you lift it up. I've never used splinter probes before. And that kind of does it for this side. So that side's got all that in there. Here's a little center piece here that's got a emergency whistle. There's no one around. There's no one in the park today. It's kind of rainy, so, but that works. Put my shears back too. So you got a whistle. That also has a separate key ring on it. There is, come on, get out of there. Some cotton swabs. And then there is, this doesn't have a label on it, but I think this is like a tourniquet. That's what it looks like. So, looks like a little buckle in there that you can adjust. It's got a end on this side so it doesn't slip through. And a small tourniquet. Adjustable tourniquet. Reusable adjustable tourniquet. And that's all in the center pouch. On the other side, you got in the big pouch here, you got a couple different kinds of bandages. So like an ace bandage with the little metal clips in there for like sprains and things like that. And then you've got another conforming bandage. It's like a gauze bandage. So that's nice to have. And you've got the shears on this side so you can cut it. In here you got skin cleaning wipes. They got labeled as. See that right here? So here's all the markings. You've got they're clearly labeled. Right. So your skincare wipes or skin cleaning wipes, antiseptic towels, sting relief, so if you get stung by a bee or something like that. Got a couple of those, nice to have. Next one is cotton gauze and iPads. I didn't even see these the first time I looked at it. So that's nice to have. So you got cotton gauze iPads. So if something happens, you're hiking, you get a stick in the eye or something like that, you got these. These are, again, individually wrapped. They are sealed up. These are sterile. One of these things I saw, I think it's the top one here, was not a sterilized gauze. So you got wound closures. So these are like bigger bandages, bigger band-aids for larger wounds. And then in the very top, you've got an emergency blanket, which is nice. This is like a 4x6, I think. Looking at the size, I think it says it's 210 centimeters by 140. I think it's about 4x6. So a decent size, or maybe 4x5.5. Decent size emergency blanket. If you're out in, even if it's like today, it's in the 60s, if it started raining and I start getting cold, I'd have this with me. I could stay warm. I usually carry something like this in the winter anyway, so having this in the car at all times would be helpful. And then this is the non-woven, non-sterile triangular bandage. So it's just a bandage, just in a little pouch here. But that's a lot of stuff in this little pouch. All right, so that's a look at this. I mean, hopefully I never have to use this entire kit. That's the only way you can do a full review is to use the whole thing. Hopefully I never have to do that. But this is very good. I'm going to be very happy to have this in my car at all times, and I can take different pieces of this with me when I'm going into the woods and restock it. So that's nice. About Surviveware. So there's their logo again. All right, is that focus? Yeah. So Surviveware, right there. They're based in Virginia. There are a couple that kind of met overseas and kind of traveled around and got together and a little accident prone, according to their bio, and started a company, started Surviveware together to make first aid kits better and accessible to people. They also do a charity, so anything that they make off of these, they contribute to a charity called Hands Free, which prints 3D printed hands for children and veterans, I believe, who have lost their hands. And it also teaches them how to 3D print them themselves, so they can make their own and kind of pay that forward. Not something I ever even thought you could do with 3D printing, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so Surviveware, they got some cool stuff on there. They're available on their website at surviveware.com. They do have an Amazon page. I'll put that link to their page and to their Amazon store. I'll put that in the description, as well as a code they sent me for anybody to use to get 10% off. So if you're looking for a first aid kit, use the code I've got down the bottom, and it gives you 10% off. And what I hope is that 10% that you save, that money goes to that Hands Free. That would be cool. That I don't get anything for this. I don't get a kickback. I'm just doing a review for them. And hopefully you guys know by now that if I don't think something's good, I'm going to tell you. I'm really impressed with this. The only downside I can say is that their idea of a small first aid kit is way bigger than what I would consider a small first aid kit. So that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. I was not expecting something like this. This runs, I believe, like $33 on their website. I'll put the price up if that's not right. I think it's $33 for the small one. But this is a lot of stuff in this first aid kit. So that's it. That's the Surviveware small first aid kit. I like it. I hope you guys like this. I hope you find this review interesting. Big thank you to Amanda from Surviveware for reaching out and sending me this to show you guys. And go check them out. Even if you just go take a look at what they've got and you let other people know. They seem like decent people. When I first got the email, I just figured Amanda was just a person who works for a company. She is one of the founders of the company. So that's pretty cool. So thanks, Amanda, for reaching out and sending me this. And yeah, guys, go check out their store, check out their Amazon link. And if you're going to buy something, use the code I put down there. I think it's KurtZ010. I looked at it real quick. I'll put it up. But use that code, and you'll get 10% off on anything you buy there. So not just this product, but anything they got. So thanks for checking out the video. Hope you guys liked it. And be safe. Be prepared. I'll see you in the next.